Welcome. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Thank you. Thank you. How are you all today? Well, today we have an interesting something to create to work with. A customer brought in a really nice, beautiful dress, but it was too small. It's a mermaid style garment, too, but it's too small. And since it's too small, we got to take the time to make it big girl for them. Hello, how are you today? One of the things that's too small is the mermaid part right here. This little mermaid piece. It's too narrow. It's a little too much of a mermaid. So we gotta make it bigger. And we're gonna add it into the side piece here, right at the knees. I wish I had her like I had a mannequin so you could really see how it's just too small, but we're gonna add that up in there to make it bigger for her. They do when they made it, they left a little bit of room, but they cut off a little bit too much. When you go on the inside to try and see how you want to do your alteration, they gave a little bit, but it's not enough. And because they clipped it also, so it's just a few little things that we're going to go in here. We're going to fix it and we're going to make it work. We're going to make it amazing. Let's talk about the gusset because that's what we're here for. We're here to learn how do we put a gusset in a garment. Bring y'all down some. So I cut off the length because it was too long. It was 9 inches too long. So I just took my ruler from the base, allotted for 9 inches. Remove my 9 inches off of from the bottom. This is my line where I'm going to rehem it at, and it was done this way. So I'm going to make sure that I cut my lining about 1.5 inches shorter than what this line is so that I can have this up underneath without it being visible to everybody else. It's going to be good. It's going to be great. It's going to be nice. The other thing was one more other thing I needed to note, but I don't remember at the moment. Okay, we're going to do the gusset. A gusset is when you just add a piece of fabric for the most part to an area to make it larger. Your gusset can be in different shapes. You can make a gusset to be literally a triangle. Can you see that? Yeah. You can make it be a triangle. You can make it be more of a oval, like teardrop kind of thing. If you don't do that, you can also. I like this board. You can also do where you do a starting point trying. Well, no, I just did that. Didn't I do that? Yeah, I did. Oh yes, I should. Oh, you can do like a diamond shape. It just depends on what's needed for the garment that you're making to put the gusset in. But that's all a gusset is you're just adding a piece of fabric to make the garment wider to accommodate what's not there. Now, with her garment, I'm going to take one side of her fabric that we cut off the hem. This is if your a garment allows for that, but if not, just go to the store and match it up with as close as possible with whatever fabric is needed for the job to get done to the best of your ability and quality that's available at the time. All right, so I'm going to take this fabric, I'm going to fold it in half. The base of her dress, as far as it being too wide or is not the problem. The problem is that is looking yellow or lime green. I don't know. The problem we have is that she cannot walk in the dress. So that's why we want to make sure we add a gusset for sure, right at where they have made it go in. You can kind of see how it veers in and goes back out. That's where we want to mainly add our gusset. I don't really, if there was a little bit more fabric, I would add more pieces, but I don't know. I wanted to kind of add it to the center back, but that's going to also give it a different type of train. And I'm thinking that might be cuter. I just haven't decided which way I want to make it rock. Which one should we do? Which one should we do? Which one should we do? Add it to the center back or just add it to the sides? Because if we add it to the sides, I'm probably just going to go up. I wanted to just add a simple gusset to the side, a very long one. I was gonna go with the long, like, oval kind of piece, not necessarily you know the diamond shape. I thought that would be good to do, just to make it simple and easy. I could do the diamond shape one. I just wasn't sure if that's what I wanted to do or not. I'm contemplating. One of them have to be done. I just don't know which one. It should be. I would put one of these on each side, but then I feel like you should also put one in the center back just for cohesiveness, because it would be cute. Doing it on the either side seam is great. It's just, what do we want to do? What do we have time for? Because I still have other work to do besides this dress. And this is kind of a last minute thing. I just, when you have those customers that come through and, get stuff done on a regular basis, and just kind of try to accommodate them a little bit more, She's a great customer. She's a great customer. The bad customers are great too, because for every bad customer, I feel like you got about 10 amazing customers to follow if you just hold on long enough. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and rock with doing the gusset piece in the. I think I'm about to put it in the back, y'all. Only because if I take this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking to go ahead and add the gusset to the center back of the dress, because my extra piece of fabric is just the right length. Literally, it's just barely above. So this is the center back seam just here. The knees are right here. And I'm going to add a whole gusset piece to the back, which would allow for this to widen some more. And I think it would be really, really pretty if I just go ahead and make this into a decent triangle piece here. I could also sew these two pieces of fabric together, but then it has this line here. I'm not doing it. Nope. I think I'm gonna just add this piece of fabric to the center back here, which would allow for her to have the movement needed to be able to walk. Adding this much, I have to go up above it just a wee bit. No, I can't, because this zipper is right here. Shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Okay, we're going back to the other idea, because this zipper starts right here, and I would need to have this gusset piece go in right there too. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What shall we do? What shall we do? And there's no other way. Yep, we're going to have to do that way. Okay, it's no big deal. No big deal, guys. We're going to just add it to both sides. All right, back to the original. Back to the original way we were going to do it. Okay, so find your fabric, take a piece. And I know for sure that I want to just maximize what I have in front of me. And I'm going to be adding this about 2 inches above. See, it's right here that's too small. Right here is too small. So just looking at that, it's about 4. It's 4 to 5 inches of. Yep. So let's do 6. No. I do want to do 6 because then that's 3 up and 3 below. And we're going to make it as wide as possible. So our tip will be 6 inches. Our starting point will be here, 3 inches above this point, and we're going to make it end. It doesn't have to end 3 inches below, but it would be excellent. And I almost want to do 4 inches, but I don't need to because her hip area is fine. It's just right at the knee area where it needs to be. At least 2. If I do 2 inches on each side, that'll give me 4 additional inches. Because remember, anything you do is double. If I cut this out at 1 inch, I'm going to be adding only about half an inch. If I cut it out at 1.5 inches, I'll be adding about 2 inches, because minus your seam allowance, of course. So if I cut my gusset to be 2 inches wide, I'm going to probably be actually only getting 1.5 inches. If I cut it to be 3 inches wide, if I cut the gusset that I add, I'll be adding really about 2.5 inches, which is really adding 5 inches to each side, which is I'm really I'll really be adding a total of 10 inches because everything's doubled. You're cutting it out on the fold or however you're cutting it. Let's rock with 2.5. Because once I sew it, it'll bring it down to 4. I should have an additional 8 inches to walk comfortably. Okay, does that make sense? I'm about to show y'all. What we're getting ready to do is we're going to make a gusset that is 6 inches. Can you see this? I hope you can see it. I know the lighting is not always the greatest, but we're going to take this fabric. I folded it in half already. I'm going to fold it in half once more just so I can know where my center is at. This is where my center is. And I'm going to make it a minimum of 6 inches long. So at this line that I have, I'm going to go at least 3 above and 3 below. And since we are adding a gusset and we're choosing to add a diamond-ish it's kind of going to be a diamond / ovally kind of effect that we're going to pull off here. This is so I know where my center is. That's my center marking. I know that this is at least 3 inches above, and I know that this is 3 inches below for me. Let me turn this way so that you can see. What we're going to do is draw. That's right. We also need to make sure that it is at least 2.5 inches wide. So my 2.5 is about there. So I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 1, 2, 3. No, I should do 3 inches. I'm gonna cut it out at 3. Yeah, I'll cut it out at 3. So I've got 1.5 inches. That's right there. So it should be 1.5 inches here and 1.5 inches on the other side. Yep. And you could fold this in half once more if you so desire. It's up to you. And you can't necessarily see my lines, but I see them. Now, we don't want to be too abrupt with our triangle. We don't want our triangle to, because this is where I had it's just 6 inches long here, but I don't want a very abrupt triangle. If we did it, it would be from here, it's going to be very much a true triangle. We're not making a true triangle or a true diamond shape. We're going to see that we have our markings of how wide we'd like it to be. I'm going to go slightly behind that. And at this angle I have here, I'm going to go with the edge. I do want the length of this fabric that we're working with for the most part. And we're going to go up. I'm following my lines. We're going to round this out, of course, just because this is just for the sake of the video. You don't have to be sharp with it at all. You can fold this in half and follow the lines you've just made, just for accuracy, so that you know for sure everything is correct. And you don't want to point at the tip. You want to leave it where you have a blunt cut at your triangle. And I'm getting ready to show you just what that looks like. So I have my marking. My line is here and here. I apologize if you cannot see it, but it's there. Hopefully you can kind of see where my line is. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, and my point, I have it on the fold, my fabric, and I'm going to go ahead and finish this thing out. Cutting. Remember, it's not at a point. Your triangle, you want to leave it at a blunt ending. And I am cutting about half an inch wider than my original line, just because I know what I'm doing. I know what I want to achieve by doing this. Okay. Oh, I didn't cut the other side. Whoa, wait. Don't. My hand all contorted. Okay. And we're going to open it up. All right, so we have our gusset pieces. This is a little bit sewn together from previous, but that's our piece. This is our gusset. This is our gusset that we are going to add into our garment. Now you can measure its length. I still have my markings here. So where's my center? I don't see my center. Oh, there it is right there. So in all, I ended up doing a total length of about 13 and a half. Yep, I did 13 and a half length for what I'm trying to do for this particular garment. And I don't like how my edge is not. It's not going to be in the seam allowance anyways, but I just want to fix that just a little bit. That could be better. That could be better. It could be more rounded, preferably, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Alrighty, so we are ready to open up this dress and add this in. Now you can do one of two things. You can either not open up. I'm sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so when it comes to opening this up, you can either go ahead and entirely open it all the way through. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Hello. Good, how are you? No problem. I'll see you then. Okay, you're welcome. Okay. Oh my goodness, the customer's on their way. I have to hurry. Okay, so let's take this sucker up really fast. Don't do that at home because it's not the safest thing to do for a garment. Yeah. So I opened it up, and we're gonna sew this bad boy up in here. Now, when this was made, they snipped it right there, If you try and sew that back together, you are going to have an issue. The issue that you'll have, because they snipped it right here, you are going to alter this garment's length and fitting. It's gonna make this stick out more, and it's yeah, it's a catastrophe. Don't even bother with. So don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that. Let that stay the way it is. That little clip they did, let that leave that alone. Let that be. You're gonna work around it with what they got for their seam allowance as is. We're gonna open up the other side also. Be careful not to rip your fabric. Be careful. Be real careful. Just make sure that your starting point for your gusset that you add in is equally the same on both sides. So I'm going to measure what this is on here. And from just because of what they did, where they had the knee at, where it's too narrow versus to up to where, and that's 5 inches. And on this side, it's also another 5 inches. Okay, so we got our markings together. We cool with that. We're gonna add this in. I also have to go up to the top of her garment up here. It's a very pretty dress. And I have to add this also up here. So um at her side seam is too small, but I'm praying and hoping that with taking her side seam that I can just Alexa, don't repeat. Okay, I don't know. I think Alexa turned on. Alexa, play CC Winans. Okay, so like I was saying, we're going to take this piece right here and we're going to use what they left her in her side. Oh, we can't do that because her side seam. Yes, we can. We can. Hi, how are you? We're going to take the side seam and we're going to fix what they have in and make it um Alexa, play Holdy. Do I like Holdy? I don't know if I like Holdy or not. Um, but we're gonna get to this in just a second. But I just wanted to kind of walk you through what I was gonna do because I'm gonna open it up. But I have to like when you go behind other people work to sew, it be a lot. It really do be a lot. I don't want to hear Holdy. Now that I think about it. Give me 1 second, y'all. I got a customer. Okay, y'all. So I changed my music to 1K Few instead, a little hyper. You know. So like I said, we're gonna add this gusset piece in, right? This gusset piece we got right here. We're about to add this into the side, and that'll be that. If you can't hear me, I do apologize, but everything's measured out. We're gonna turn the dress inside out and pull it through. Okay, so her dress is now turned inside out so we don't get nothing messed up. I'm actually thinking I'm gonna just take it and yeah, I'm gonna let this dress. Yeah, we about to do this whole dress. So let me do the gusset part first because that's what I was focusing on for you guys. And I'm just gonna add it into the seam. Real simple. It's already got a lining too. I'm gonna follow the original seam that the marks of the original seam that was here. And we're gonna follow it in. Yep. I'm just looking at my markings to make sure everything flows. Yeah. You may have to go up just a little bit above from where it is. Or you could just make it smaller. It's totally up to you. I'm gonna narrow it down just a smidget. Making a gusset can be a little bit of a tedious task. You just have to take the time and be willing to make it work for what you're trying to get done, what you're trying to accomplish. But that's with anything, right? I could go up some. Yeah, I'm gonna make it. Yeah, I'm gonna just take it up a smidget. Make it easier because the customer will be here in an hour. Yeah. All right, we're getting ready to sew this sucker. Make adjustments as you feel led to make adjustments, of course. Just because you got to do what works best for you. And we're getting ready to sew this bad boy. I'm a back stitch right there because of the way they made this dress, where they clipped it at, and I don't want no issues for the customer when she's in her garment later on. I didn't say it before, but I'm kind of like sewing it 5/8. The additional piece that I'm adding, it is and it's not. So you just when you add in the guts to try and make it fit and make it work anyway, so it doesn't necessarily matter. Just do the best you can and make it look right, so that it doesn't look strange for the customer. So that's one side added in. You see the gusset, it fits in smoothly. It's there. We're good to go. And now I'm going to go and add the other side. You're just sandwiching it in to place. So as you can see, it stops right there. And when I start sewing, I'm going to start there, but I'm gradually going to bring it over. You may or may not be able to see what I'm getting ready to do, but I'm going to make it happen. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's do it. Anything that says Saturday, Paris. Anything that says Saturday, can you put it for Friday? I didn't know he didn't want Saturday done. Wanted to make sure I backpacked right there where they had their little fine there. Okay, so that's one gusset done. I'm going to show you what it looks like before I move on. So this is a completed gusset area that we have done. This gusset is now in place. We have widened it, and the reason you want to elongate is just so that it doesn't completely ruin the integrity of the garment already here. And I will go back inside and clip, because you have to go back and clip your excess. Always make sure you go back and clip your excess material. It's just so that it's comfortable for the customer underneath. And you can go back and serge this as well. You don't have to not think you don't have to serge it. It's just we're gonna get her to fit this anyways before we ever even get to that. And this will be comfortable for them when they're wearing it. And you can cut that down so that it's not so big. And do the same on the opposite side. And I'm just gonna go back and I'm gonna put that away. It's just so much fabric. I'm gonna clip some of this off of here. This is a lot of fabric. We don't need all this fabric in here. Can't do nothing with it anyways, right? Okay, I'm gonna go in and do the other side. Add that gusset in there. And sew it all the way through. So I took it up from where it was. Get my other piece here. Just following where I was going to put that gusset there. And we're not gonna rip it. We're gonna use a seam ripper. We're gonna, oh, you can't see what I'm doing, so we're gonna make it a little wider, but we're gonna use a seam ripper to, it's kind of double stitched right here, so I can't rip it like I did the other side. So that little rip section they had there, we're gonna slightly come in. We'll still have our fabric over, but we're gonna make sure that we stitch right there. And going up. Yep, that's perfect. So we're gonna begin our stitching. Let's make it happen. Three. Just leave it. Ooh, shut up. The season for research is not the season for marketing. If you don't have like some motivational stuff coming through your phone, player with all the stuff that's out here today, let me tell you, you got to get on that. If you text wisdom to, oh, what is the number? Um, is that the number? Because I don't know. I think I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna put it in the link at the bottom because I don't remember exactly how I got on it and what I had to. Because it's not the number that it comes through though. But yep, so that's putting one side in, and of course we're gonna go back and we're gonna fix all the little woo woo whoops and make it smooth and everything. Now we're gonna do the other side, and you just sounding it in. That's all we're doing. We're just making a sound of fabric. I find that to be hilarious, but that's just me. That's my personality. We're making fabric sandwiches. Okay, so this one we're going to start slightly above. I'm just sewing it a different way so that you can just see a different way for it being done. Okay, just back stitching where that little stitch that they had put in there was. And I'm about to keep sewing this sucker on down. Okay, so we're gonna check and make sure everything's looking smooth, looking great. Now we don't have no gaps and holes taking place. Because if you got that, then you don't want to be you don't want to move on just yet. So again, I'm gonna show y'all how this is looking. It's looking pretty nice, pretty right, pretty tight. Had to get the bottom out. All right, we are checking for any seams that were not together. So we got the bottom seam is good. The side seams are looking good. I could go back over this a little bit, or I could take those extra little threads out, of course. Go on over to the other gusset we added in. It's looking pretty good. Got my threads I need to get out of the way. Plus, I got to go back inside and clip the other side I did not clip. Everything is looking fantastic. It looks amazing. It really, really does. So we're good. We're good. All right. Let me just clip that piece that I didn't clip on the side I just sewed in place. Let's clip these extra pieces. Always be mindful and cautious so that you don't end up clipping your actual fabric of the garment. Be mindful of those little things, because once you cut it, it is cut. Just trying to get rid of any unnecessary thickness. That's why you clip, so that you don't have uncomfortableness for the customer. It just shows that you care, that you care about them and how they fit in their garment, how they feel, everything. Oh, you didn't see me clip nothing. My bad. You're like, okay, go ahead and clip, but we don't see you clipping. And on the other side as well, we're going to do a little clipiation here. I think I should wear something that I made. I should. What else could I make right quick? I got an event to go to in a couple days. And some of my friends are going. One of my friends is wearing a garment that I made for her. And I'm like, dang, how I'm going to show up at an event? One of my friends is wearing something that I made, but I'm not wearing nothing I made. So I'm trying to rethink how I want to do this. Like, do I want to, one, if she wear her garment, the garment I made, I got to take my business cards with me. Sometimes I'm not going to front. Like, sometimes I don't be feeling like, because I don't feel like, I want to kind of monitor how my cards, how I send out my business card, but I can't control when somebody wears my garments. So in that event, seeing how we're going to be in the same space, I have to make sure I have my business cards on me. I have to make sure that what I'm wearing is something that I made or styled to some degree. So I have to just figure all of that out, like fast. And I haven't really took the time to sit down and do it. I'm going to just be honest. And I only thought about that because of today. But we'll figure it out before the day is over. What's going to be what? It'll work though. So now we're gonna do this inside seam right here. We're gonna take what they left her because I left my ruler over there. I think her measurements on her ticket say that she needed like she needed almost 10 inches for it to fit her, but she still fit her snug. So instead of going and adding an additional piece of fabric right now, I'm gonna take the seam allowance that they left in here and I'm going to stitch it super duper 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 close to the edge, probably like a quarter of an inch. I'm gonna stitch it a quarter of an inch from the edge. I'm gonna double stitch it just so that it's secure for her. And hopefully that gives her what she's looking for. If not, then we'll go in and we'll add an extra piece of fabric because we do have another piece of fabric to add to it. And that'll be it for her dress because she should be here in the next 30 minutes. Oh, she here already? No. Hello, Miss Sally. Give me just a moment. She waiting on me. That's over, guys. So they're going to try it on and we'll find out if it fits them or not. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Now you know how to put a gusset in. Have a great day.